And Allah says in Surah Al-Qalam 68, فَذَرْنِي وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ سَنَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So leave on me, and whosoever belies with this hadith event, soon we will gradually come from where they do not know. So leave on me, and whosoever belies with this hadith event, soon we will gradually come from where they do not know. فَذَرْنِي وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ سَنَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So leave on me, Allah says, leave on him, Allah Almighty, and whosoever belies with this hadith, bihad al hadith, this hadith that I have recited for you people, this is all hadith of Allah. And Allah says, so leave on me, and whosoever belies with this hadith, the event, soon we shall gradually come from where they do not come, they do not know, from where they can even think and imagine. Well, he will catch you all who take this ayah as a mockery, who take this as a hadith as a mockery, who believe that as a hadith, as of comparison to this. He says he will come from where you cannot know. And I end this ayat, Surah Al-Jathiyah 45 and 6 ayat. Tilka ayatullah natluha alayka bil haqq fabi hadithin ba'd Allah wa ayatihi yu'minun. These are the ayats, signs of Allah. We recite over you with the truth. Then after Allah and His ayah signs, in which hadith even they will believe. They believe. These are the ayahs, are the signs of Allah that I recited, or we recited, it was recited by Allah. These are the ayahs, signs of Allah. Allah said, we recite over you with the truth. Then after Allah, فَبِأَيِّ حَدِيثٍ بَعْدَ اللَّهِ وَآيَاتِهِ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Then after Allah and His ayah, signs, in which hadith event they will believe. Allah is asking a question. That Allah, after Allah and His ayats, in which hadith you will believe, they will believe. So people are saying, we believe this hadith or the other books of hadith without knowing this ayat, without knowing the whole ayat's understanding of the Quran, because they don't know. They do not know the hadith, they have not read the hadith, they have not read the Quran in translation. Then I will ask the question, nobody knew. So the education is that the time if we said something, you must take things carefully, consciously, that these are ayahs. This is not my philosophy that I want to promote. Why should I? What benefit I get? Well, it's not what it is there. That Allah said, these are the ayahs, signs of Allah. Allah said, we recited over you with the truth. Then after Allah and His ayahs, in which hadith they believe? Tilka ayatullah. These are the ayahs of Allah. Natluha alayka bil haqq. We have recited over you with truth. Fabi ayyi hadithin ba'd Allah. Then which hadith they will believe after Allah? Wa ayati, and His ayat, yu'minun, they will believe. This is a question to all the people of the world who are labeled Muslims, who have not read hadith in the real sense. They have read it without knowledge. They have taken without knowledge, they are believing it. They don't know. So the time is that for the people who are educated, they must read the Quran, first try to understand the Quranic essence, then read the hadith also, so that you must understand what it contains. Not without knowing it, you believe in hadith and make an argument, and you make your livelihood and sustenance just to falsify the ayahs, just to say the Quran is not complete. The Quran is not complete without the understanding of this. I told you in the beginning, the Quran is the Furqan, the criteria to judge the hadith, to judge the Bible, to judge the sciences, all sciences of the world. It is a book of facts coming from Allah, the source, the creator of the universe. He has said it as the truth it is. You have to understand the sense of Allah. Once it is understood first, not without understanding. Once you've understood by Allah, if you understood the ayahs of Allah, then you have the capability to judge the other thing. But if it is not understood, you cannot put your similes, your mutashabih, your resemblance in the ayahs and think this is what the ayah says. No, this is not the way. First, the ayah should be understood properly, and once it is understood, then you are in the position to judge the Bible, judge the sciences, judge the history and geography and other books. But if you are not in the position, you have to take the concept by what people are telling you. That is happening all the time. The book is not being clear to us. The book is not being read by us. We read other books and then we go to different scholars or our own school of thought scholars. We ask them to explain the traditional Islam, not the ayahs, not the ayahs. Just like this. So this was the lecture to explain to the people that what is the Quran says about the hadith, the event mentioned the ayahs. I conclude by saying the hadith means the event, and that the general understanding of the hadith, of the books of the hadith in the world, is that the contents in the hadith is the saying or the sunnah or the practice of the messenger prophet. Hadith, the word hadith. Hadith means in the world that it contains, hadith book, it is an event book which contains the sunnah, the practice and the saying of the messenger prophet. That is what hadith books are. We have understood from the Quran that the Quran contains the asal hadith, the most beautiful hadith. It contains the events of not only Muhammad Rasulullah, but it contains the hadith of all the prophets, and it contains the hadith events of all the universe and the galaxies and everything. The events. It contains. And the Muhkam Ayat, the Hukum of Ayat, which is the law, the Torah, we have to follow. And the events are there for us to take guidance. But we have to believe in the Qanun, the law, the Torah, as well as the Hadith, the events. We have to believe in the both. But people, and the saying of the messenger is also mentioned in the Quran, that they are questioning you, you tell them. They are saying to you, you say them. So this is the saying of the messenger. We have read the Quran, that this is the Qawli Rasul Kareem, and the events are also there. That is the most beautiful asal hadith, the most beautiful event in the book of Allah. So I end my lecture in this. Do you have any other question and answer? We start the session. Thank you.